Hey guys, welcome back to Real Maine Fishing. I am getting ready for the ice fishing season. This is the 2024-2025 ice fishing season, and we are getting all the shacks waterproofed. We're getting them set up. We got some new shacks to show you. We got some like the latest and greatest shacks to show you. If you're interested in getting a hub shelter, this might be the video for you. We're gonna go over different brands, different makes, different models. We're gonna go over small ones, big ones, jigging shacks, hub shelters. We're gonna go through everything. I'm gonna try to keep this streamlined so it's not too lengthy, but let's get started. All right, I'm hiding everything from you if you didn't notice. So we're gonna start with the shack that I started with first. This is the Eskimo 450i, the Eskimo Outbreak 450i. This was my first shack. I've done a ton of overnights in this shack. It has a full door all the way down to the bottom, which is an Outbreak thing. When you walk in, you have plenty of windows. You can see your traps. If you're ice fishing, you can see your surroundings. These windows all come out completely, which is kind of convenient. It gets inconvenient when you get into other makes and models of different shacks, but these right here, you can see from the outside that it's very flat. So it's not like the angle like this is. See, they keep the windows off this and they put them where it's nice and flat. That way there's not a lot of snow buildup, because since these do open, snow can sit down here if the windows are on this part. But we'll get to some other shacks where the windows are on this slant, and that kind of becomes a little inconvenient because on the inside it will start to get everything wet that's right here, right there, and all the way around. But Eskimo did a great job with the 450i. You have these vents, which are fantastic for nighttime. You'd think you'd lose a lot of heat coming out of those, but you do not. But we got quite a bit. I don't know if you can see how close that is to my head. There's quite a bit of room in here. We have slept, my wife and I have slept in this with my son before. There's plenty of room. We got little coat hangers right here, made by Eskimo. You can get these right on their website. There's a pole that comes with it that kind of keeps the door propped open on both sides. That way, if you're coming through and you stumble, you can kind of grab the top here and you're not gonna crush the floor. Or not the floor, but you're not gonna collapse the tent. But this is the 450i by Eskimo. Great shack. This one I've had for 5 years running now. I've had zero issues with it. The roof is pretty big, but I still haven't had enough snow on this to collapse it. It takes quite a bit of weight to bring this down. You can buy spreader poles if you're ever worried about that kind of thing. But we heat it. It heats very nicely, very efficiently, and it makes it so that the snow just kind of beads off the ends and it doesn't build up that much in the middle of the night. This right here, we have the Eskimo 2800 Escape. This I got last year. They came out last year. This is an amazing jigging shack. It has a ton of room for your fishing. I can't remember the square footage on this, but I can name it in the comments if you guys want to. When you come in here, it's all super insulated. This is their Storm Shield fabric. I just waterproofed this year. I didn't waterproof it the first year. And I was out in the pouring rain out on the ice, and this shack did not leak. It was bone dry in here. It stayed very warm. It is just an excellent shack. My brother-in-law, Chuck, he actually bought another one this year. So we have two 2800 Escapes now. But when you sit down in these chairs are actually made by a tree stand company. So the guys that build this know what it's like to sit in chairs for long amounts of time. It doesn't look as comfortable as the clam chairs, but they are just as comfortable. They slide forward and backward, which is really nice. They spin all the way around. They're really sturdy seats, and you can also slide them along a back rail depending on where your fishing holes are. They slide really easily. They're very comfortable to sit in. Once you sit in here, like I said, you can see here, you can have a 50-inch rod and you can still jig anything you want to jig up. It's just really convenient. I got the Otter Sidekick Mini here. I use that for my baits, any kind of lures, beverages if you want them. My pliers go right in here. Same for whoever's sitting next to me. I have the clam organizer down here. Again, all my pliers, my forceps go in here. Any kind of reading material I keep right in here. If I'm logging anything, on both ends, I have spots for 1 pound propane tanks, and they just go right here. And there's even a little elastic here that you can put around the top of the tank, and it just keeps the tanks from jumping up out while you're riding along. Again, I went with the Eskimo hooks. I think this shack comes with these. I don't think you have to buy it separately. We have an organizer back here. These really conveniently have a loop on them. You can take the loop, bring it up, slide it over that, and have extra room for storage if you're just jigging by yourself. I usually have a heater back here, and I usually hang one of my fans up here, and it just kind of keeps the heat coming up, pushes it down, and the heat just kind of keeps going around like that. But another cool idea that I found out that works really good, I always attach a hand towel. I get these off Amazon, and this is kind of rough, which is great if you get any kind of solid like fish slime and scales on you. It's just it helps you just keep your hands clean in between the fish. Of course, you get a little bit of scales on it, but they dry out nice and quick, and the heater that I have here keeps them really dry. But I usually have one on both sides of the shack for my other buddy over here. The windows in here, really nice. Again, these open up as well. You have a backdrop. This blacks out pretty nice too in the middle of the day, but this is so you can just have 360 degrees of viewing, and it just makes it really nice to be able to see everything around you. The doors can stay open like this, or if you want to close them, super simple. Oh, you guys might have just seen one of the other shacks that I'm going to show you, but either way, it's just a great 360 degree way to see your ice fishing traps. You can jig in here while you're fishing, and it's a great shack. This is my favorite jigging shack I've ever seen. All right, we'll go off to the next one. Next one, we have the Otter Thermal Tack. This is the Resort, Vortex Pro Resort. This is Ben's shack. This is bigger than the 450i. I'm gonna try to go up in size every time I go to another hub shelter, but this is a great shack. Comes with rod holders all built in. These windows open right up. Again, these are removable windows, and they did a great job making the walls flat so that they don't build up on any, so the snow can't build up on them. Regular sized hubs for Otter. You have an entrance, which is completely open on the floor. You can put your poles on each side, which is really convenient. This has a propane port or an extension port, so if you want to run your propane heater, you can keep your propane outside. This Velcro's open, you can run your hose right through. That way you don't have to go underneath your skirt. Grommets on the outside, ice anchors, ice locks, so you can also just really strap this thing down. Comes with your regular Otter straps. Otter doesn't make bad straps, but I've had these break in the cold. We have had one break. It was a polar vortex. It was like -70 with the wind chill, and this little piece right here snapped. Again, that's extreme use. We rarely see that here in Maine, but other than that, this stitching, it just has one single stitch right there. That can be an issue if you're in extreme weather conditions. Again, we had -70 degree wind chills, but other than that, these things hold up really well. Clam Yukon thermal. This is the Dave Genz version. This is a cool shack. The doors on these things are absolutely massive. You can open them right up. This is Ben's shack right here. Look at the size of that. You can walk right in, opens up on both sides, and it has a door built into the back. This is what a lot of jigging shacks do not have. So this is really convenient to be able to access your stuff on the back side. Very comfortable seats. They fold down. They look extremely comfortable. I still think the 2800 has more comfortable seats, but these ones are not a pain to sit in all day. Very comfortable. This has plenty of space to fish. Not as much as the 2800, but still plenty of space. Your organizer right here slides back and forth. You have extra places to store your poles if you'd like. This isn't the kind of shack you want to use if you have a lot of gear. If you have a ton of gear, this is a one-person jigging shack, because let's say you put your sonar right here, or if you want to put it over here, you're not going to get your sonar there and then have your fishing hole here with a 40-50 inch rod. If you're fishing for big lakers, this will get you by and it'll do a good job. It heats very well, it retains the heat very well, but it's not gonna do that for two people at once. It's very crowded in here if you get two people that have a ton of gear. But if you're just coming out and you want to jig for, you know, some panfish, or you just don't have a sonar and you just want a place to just basic fish with two people, this is fantastic. This works great. The poles snap so easy. The thing with the 2800 is the poles, you kind of got to tug them a little bit to get them to snap in, because the canvas that's around everything, it's not really canvas, but the material is so heavy because it's their storm shield fabric. So these all just snap out really nicely. It's a good shack, there's no doubt about it. You got the LED lights that are all built in. This is an add-on, but each one of those little things right there is an LED light. You have a controller, digital controller over here that you just plug in, and you can power them on, you can turn them up, turn them down. It's really handy. Really, really handy. Windows all the way around on this. These are sewn in. So on this, you're not going to be able to take the windows out. Something that's kind of convenient about that, they leak a lot less when they're sewn in. So that's one thing I've learned. But you have windows here, here, in the back. Even on the back door, there's a window. So you have plenty of viewing space to look at all your jigging stuff around you, all your traps that might be out there. This one right here, we have the fish trap. Again, Dave Genz by Yukon. This is basic, much smaller. Seats slide back and forth. When you sit in them, they're pretty comfortable seats. Probably the least comfortable of all the ones because the backrest isn't very high. But again, when you go down on size, you have less room to actually put things like bigger seats. This all is just pretty basic. This extends, these all extend. Basic smaller poles. That one has much bigger poles, so it's a lot more sturdy, but this is not insulated like that one is. But you do have some convenient pockets. Mesh on the window, so when you open that up, you will get some cool breezes coming in. Small, much smaller windows. These windows, as you can see, aren't huge, but looks like you've got some frayable hooks up here. Air vents. This isn't going to heat as nice, but again, it'll work for you if you want to go out and jig. All right, next up. Got a different augers, Jiffy propane, got a clam plate, Strike Master lithium, brand new ion alpha. This right here is the Otter Vortex Monster Lodge. This is what I'm talking about with the windows on a slant. Windows on a slant, not a huge fan of. This is a great shack when it comes to tons of space, lots and lots of room. I like it how it's a perfect square. It makes sitting your cots up and everything really convenient. But this is the only downfall of it. The snow will come in here, it builds up there, and it leaks. If you have these up, the water will just come in and trickle down the side and come down. But these are removable windows. Again, this fabric is so thick. It's really nice fabric. Basic size hubs, as you can see, they're just basic size hubs. Plenty of windows that go all the way around this. They have the nice fish holders. I love the rod holders for here. the fishing rod holders. This has the propane or the extension cord inlet, which is really convenient. This also has right here, as you can see, this is for the light. There's a light that Otter makes. It's right here. And this thing is just a flag. Comes up on a tent pole. Sorry about the video, guys. Trying to bounce everything on my phone. This right here is just a beacon. So over here, oh, it's not on this side, it's on the other side. So the beacon can go right here. Just kind of sits down in there. And that's just a great way to notify people that you're out on the ice. That way you're not getting hit with anything. This right here is all reflective. This here is reflective. We switched to the Eskimo straps because the Eskimo has the best stitching on the straps. It isn't just a box like most of the Otters and Clams are. It actually, Eskimo added an X, and these are the toughest straps. We've had straps break, but never these. You come down here, and even on your loop down here, they just do the best stitching. This makes a big difference when you're in the middle of a really tough weather situation. But these also have the grommets on the outside. It has your ice locks. Really big grommets, nice heavy duty, probably 900 denier fabric that they put their grommets in, and then you put your ice lock down over that. Another 2800, we just went over that one. This right here is the new Shack. This is the Clam X-1200 thermal. We just went over all these Shacks with waterproofing. Just the roof on this thing took 8 or 8.5 cans of waterproofing. It took a lot, and it took a while to get it done, but one of the most important things is to waterproof the roof of your shacks. That way, if it does rain or it does have a crazy amount of snow, you're good to go. I waterproof all around the windows. These windows are stitched in, they don't come out, but look at how flat this is on that. That's awesome. They do a pretty good job with this. The window's not that exposed, but again, I spray all this with waterproofing. I don't think I'm gonna have an issue with the rain coming in. When you do waterproof these, just know that if you get any waterproofing on that X-1200 thermal, the white lettering, like this right up here, have a microfiber cloth near you, because you're gonna see a little bit of blue like start coming down on top of it, like all down here starts to turn blue from the stuff coming from that waterproofing agent coming off of the white. Not sure what that is, but you can literally wipe it up and it disappears pretty quickly. We'll get in here and we'll show you. They do a really good job overlapping this. This stuff is really thick. It's gonna hold heat really well. This door opens up. I know I'm going through a lot of stuff really quickly. Huge windows. I mean, look at the size of this door. It goes all the way down to the ground. They did keep the flap there, the skirting, which is really cool because you can just bank all the way around it. There's no grommets on the outside here. You just bank it. The grommets are on the inside. Let's go inside this thing. This thing is absolutely massive. I think it was 188 square feet of fishable area. This thing is a monster. It's just absolutely huge. Vents all the way around over every single window. Sorry about the glare, guys. It's really, everything's really dark in here. 7.5 foot ceilings. The hubs in these are huge. Look at the size of these hubs. They didn't mess around with those hubs. They got real serious about that. Nice mesh pockets on each side. Like over that door, you have a mesh piece. You have another big mesh piece there. And then there's two more. One here and one there. Again, I don't know if you can see like how tall this is. I mean, I'm flat-footed. It's so tall. Windows, I mean, there's windows for days in this thing. They're just everywhere. Everyone has their own mesh pockets around every window. They have a couple clam lock mounts for the hubs. I'm going to get a couple of the coolers. But this is neat. All of the tie downs are on the inside. All of them. There's one there. There's one over there. There's like one on every corner. The poles for the doors are all built in. They swivel right up top. These just come undone. Try to focus there. These come undone. They go up and they strap right there. This one, it's locked in place. It just snaps up, goes right here, and it stays there. Pretty convenient. But I really like the doors. I think they're 28 or 29 inches wide. They're the biggest doors on the market. This whole thing is the biggest thing on the market. It's a Shields exclusive, so this thing's big. I mean, there's a couple videos on YouTube that talk about this thing. It's big. It's the only way I can explain it. So I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just ginormous. It is heavy. I think it's 107 pounds. You're gonna want an extra person to bring this out, help you set it up. If there's wind, that might create a little bit of more difficulty. You maybe need a third person if it's really windy when you're trying to set it up. But most of the time, early morning or late in the evening when you're setting it up and tearing it down, that's when the wind's at its least. So there's that one. These are some of the corner consoles. That's going to be going in that. But there is not a hole for propane or any cords. So you kind of have to just scoot it underneath wherever you can. But that's the X-1200. And it's just a monster. The bag for it is very big, so it fits inside the bag, no problems at all. There's that. This is the Clam 6-pack. This is the oldest one in our fleet. It's lasted forever. This thing has stood the test of time. The zippers, the handles broke on these a long time ago. I'm not sure if they're YKK or not, but a simple zip tie fixes that. Makes it really easy. This is a big shack. So this is basically half of the X-1200 thermal. It has the same kind of windows, stitched in. We've never had a problem with them leaking, so I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with the X-1200. A little bit different fabric. This is a little bit lighter material and cotton, and a little bit different design in the stitching too. These are a diamond, and those are a hexagon. So over here, last but definitely not least, this is the Eskimo Outbreak 650 XD. Much bigger than the 450i. This has one more wall on it. It has a full door. The windows removable, just like the 450. So those work out fantastic. They're always easy to put back on too. They give you plenty of room. The mesh on this, same as the 450. Really nice place to put your stuff. He has all the Eskimo straps in here for hanging up coats. You fit the disco beds here. You have a spot for your kitchen. You have a spot for your dog. If you bring your dog, they always bring their dog in here. This blacks out pretty nicely, believe it or not, even though it is gray on the inside. I like the gray better than the black on the inside. I think it looks nicer, it feels nicer. You have two half doors, I kind of call them, and then you're full. So there's plenty of ways to escape this so you're not interrupting other people as you're walking through. But this one just got a nice fresh coat of sealing on the top. All the stitching got done and it's ready to go. But guys, I hope this helps you in your search for maybe a hub shelter or jig and shack. But leave your comments if you have any questions. If any ways I can improve videos, please let me know. I'm excited about this fishing season, and we'll see you guys outside.